got my son and my future son-in-law that work for me, and shame on me, I've given them the impression that they can work like I do. They need to work like I used to work.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
They need to just get out there and grind and get your teeth kicked in and not take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Whether you're a seasoned vet of the payments industry or a brand new rookie who just heard the term dual pricing for the first time, you're in the right place. This is the only podcast that shares the strategies and stories behind selling merchant services. Welcome to AgentFirst.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the AgentFirst podcast. I'm Justin Vollrath, your inspiring host. Actually, I'm here today with an inspiring guy. John Williams lives in the St. Louis, Missouri area, right, John?
Correct.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, We've known each other for a long time. Like, I think you started at Heartland what year?
2006, probably 2007.
Okay.
I'm coming up on 20 years of doing this craziness.
Wow. Yeah.
For sure.
So you were there when I started, because I remember you were our POS guy when I was there, and I remember meeting you through that because I was in Iowa, you were in Missouri, and got to. So, as I mentioned before, this whole podcast is meant to inspire others, right? It gives, we don't want to sit here and talk about the boring stuff about gateways and POSs and sales tactics and all that sort of stuff. We're here to help inspire the agents that are out there that may be struggling, trying to figure things out. You've been doing this for 20 years. You've figured out a thing or two here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna. So I'd love it first to hear your story of how'd you get into this industry, right? Because you didn't grow up wanting to be in the credit card processing industry.
Not even close.
Yeah, you stumbled into it. So let's hear that story, how you got into this.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like anybody else, I fell into I tripped over this industry. I had no clue that it even existed.
Right.
I was living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the time, and I was selling food, and then I had partnered up with a customer of mine to open a restaurant. So I had another restaurant, the customer he was wanting to get out, so we took over his space. And at that time, I knew the girl that worked at Heartland, and I asked her to set me up with credit cards. She was in a BNI group with my wife at the time, and she said, she came to me and said, blah, blah, basis points, and I'm like, yeah, okay, just set me up and don't screw me over, and we'll be fine.
Right.
I got tired of selling food, and I got tired of running a restaurant, and decided I want something different, and I asked her if the company was hiring. I sat down with her boss, interviewed me, and then came home to my wife and told her I'd taken a job for $0 in salary. And
sounds familiar.
Yeah, that went over really, really well. And I'm going to be honest, I had no clue what I was doing.
Right.
But I was still working for the food sales company.
Okay.
So I just started with those clients. And I also liked the idea that I ran a regular sales route. So I started hitting the businesses between the restaurants, which I was never able to do. I carried around my own restaurant's statement because she had taught me how to do an effective rate.
Okay.
This will go a little payments geeky, but this is before Durbin. It was before any of that. Everybody I knew paid over 3%.
Right.
And I paid 2.8 or something like that. And that was my whole shtick. I can make you pay less than 3%. I wouldn't give you any better or any worse pricing than I have myself.
Right. That's cool.
And my pricing was 35 basis points and 10 cents.
Okay.
And
you do that everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay.
And then the first time that I turned in an application and it got rejected because the pricing was wrong, because I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I didn't know. Justin, I did better when I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
I did so well when I had no clue.
Right. Yeah.
As soon as I actually got some knowledge, I turned into the worst price seller on the planet. I literally would actually get out our gross margin objective chart.
Yep.
show it to a business and tell them I was going to put them at the bottom. I was going to price them as low as I was allowed to possibly price them.
Wow.
Fast forward like 6, 8, 9 months. Now I'm not selling food. Now this restaurant is sold, and this is my only way to make an income. I'm broke as a joke.
Yeah.
I'm making nothing, and I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I'm on all these calls about all these accounts I'm selling, and they're like, learn from this new guy. Yeah. He's great. And I literally, during one of the calls, said, look, this is awesome, but I'm freaking broke. I need help.
Yeah.
Like, I seriously need help. I got sent to, like, what I could better term as a re-education center. Like, so literally, yeah, like, turn me into a salesman.
Right.
And I met a guy named Rob Moore.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Out in California.
I remember Rob, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Real
good. Blast from the past.
Yeah, real good dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and
like the biggest skater, like beach guy in the world. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And wouldn't we all have loved to live out in LA and had that many people to call on, right?
Yeah.
But he changed my entire mind about what I was doing. You know, he said, stop going out there and beating down the same doors of the same people trying to save them money. I'm going to save you money. I can save you money. Oh my God. I have some guys that are like kind of on my team now that that's our mantra. Do we save people money? Hell no, we don't. It's icing on the cake, but it's not the cake.
It's not the cake. That's right.
So he taught me to be a student of the industry, and I really took that to heart. I started learning who my competition was, really getting to know how they operated, because there's especially, I don't want to say it's harder. It's harder now. It used to be easier.
That's right.
You know,
that's right, man.
Used to be.
That's right. Back in our day.
Back in my day.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was so many, the kickbacks on the kickbacks and the 3-tiered pricing and the rate plus the surcharge and just the ridiculous annual fees, the padded interchange. Once I started learning all of that,
you had to get 3 months of statements to be able to read the different ways they were doing it.
Yeah. And where I became really effective, I think, was I was no longer gathering statements. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see your statement. I just want an appointment.
I like that.
Does it make you uncomfortable to realize that this might be happening? And then we sit down and we go through it together. And then I had this brilliant, I think, I'm not very brilliant, but I think this thought was brilliant. I decided that I could turn a penny into $1 million.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I took, and again, you told me not to payments geek out, but I'm a freaking payments geek, so I'm going to geek out.
We both are,
yeah. So Visa's APF fee, 0.0195 cents, almost 2 cents, is the most oft inflated fee I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. There's so many people pad that fee.
You're right.
And so I started showing what it should be, okay? And I had all these little stupid things I'd say, like, I will come to your business and show you that my pricing matches Visa and MasterCard's published rates to the 10th of a penny. I'll do it in front of God and my grandma, the whole deal, right? Because I was really passionate. I'd found something new,
Yeah.
So I would show them the Visa APF rate was 0.0195, and I would say, if this gets inflated by just a penny, just 1 cent, and if the average business does 1,000 transactions, that's $10. Mm-hmm. And if this company that you're with has 100,000 customers, that's $1 million a month they put in their pocket by inflating
the small business in America. Yeah.
I inflated your deal by 1 penny.
Yeah.
Well, that just opened up to, then I would look at their statement. Okay, first thing I do, go to the VC APF fee. Oh, they're inflating it 2 cents. That's $2 million you're putting in their pocket, Mr. Merchant. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
And then I would say, would you rather do business with a company that does things like that? Or would you feel more comfortable doing business with me? Who promises not to do that?
That's awesome.
And then if I found one other fee, $15 or whatever, $15, that's 50, that's $1.5 million.
Right.
And that's, And then after that, I just started saying, would you rather? I played would you rather all the time. Would you rather do business with somebody that does this sort of thing? Yeah, I think I would.
Dude, that's awesome.
Awesome. Do you have a voided check and your federal tax ID available?
Press hard, there's 3 copies.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we were signed up and we talked about price, but we didn't really talk about
I love
price.
that. I love that approach.
Yeah.
Man. I love that approach.
Yeah.
And I would think your background as a business owner, that you had a restaurant, that had to help as well, right? I mean, you're able to because I know you've done a lot in the restaurant space, right? You're all over the, Lake of the Ozarks, everywhere between Lake of the Ozarks and St. Louis. You do a lot of work in the restaurant space. Does that help your background in that?
It did. I mean, because I could speak the restaurant owner's language.
Right.
So
Right.
I came to find out that later on there's way better portfolios to go after than restaurants.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, all you other guys don't get calls on a Saturday night getting yelled at about something being wrong.
Right. Midnight on a Saturday night.
Yeah. And then later on, years down the road, getting locked out of all the different POSs and restaurants. And, I mean, in 20 years, I've lost a lot of customers, but I really, really can count on a couple of hands the ones I lost through a fault of my own.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's always been a big deal to me. Like, I now have 20-year customers.
That's awesome.
That have followed me through several companies.
That's cool.
If anybody is ever watching this, of course, they signed with me the day after my non-solicit agreements expired. Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
So the first, whatever, almost 18 years to whatever, 17 years of your career, you were a W-2 employee, right?
Yes.
And only the last few years you've been an independent contractor. How's that switch been for you?
Life-changing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I should have done it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At least. I don't think I had the discipline to do it 10 years ago.
Makes sense, yeah.
I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for those things.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there's also, I think, one of the most amazing things to me is that I can literally look at what's in my bank account or look at what I've purchased or what I've done or the vacations, and I've earned every penny of it. Mm-hmm. That is something that a lot of people can't say. There's a lot of people that they'll find that best salary and they'll ride the clock and do what they're going to do and put in the bare minimum and get their little 2 weeks of vacation and right. And the idea that I could earn every single penny that I've ever earned in this industry is, to me, it's just amazing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's true. That's very true. You have earned it.
I think that's super cool.
What do you think has changed the most for you, either personally as John or in the industry, whatever you want to talk about, over the last almost 20 years? What has been the biggest thing when you look and you say, man, back in my day kind of thing, the things that have changed the most?
Yeah.
Either for the good or for the worse,
No. I'd say the whys. Somebody also put some crazy stuff in my head about finding your why, and maybe it was one of those touchy-feely Tom Bell trainings.
I guarantee it was Tom Bell.
But all that stuff. I mean, we make fun of it, but it all kind of shaped how I thought.
Works,
and my kids will tell you that when I think back of the early days, that we used to call it the macaroni with tuna and peas, macaroni and cheese with tuna and peas. Man, that's a $4 dinner for $5.
Amen, brother. Yeah.
Because I was struggling. I mean, I was absolutely struggling. But and I remember taking the kids to the gas. One of my first goals was I want to go to the gas station and let my kids get drinks and sodas and I don't want to have to take the empty Gatorade bottles from this week's soccer practice home and fill them with Kool-Aid so the kids could have Gatorade,
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool.
And that's, the kind of stuff, I mean, it was crazy struggles early, but I always knew I was on the right path. And it's that kind of belief in yourself.
That's awesome.
And I thought that was a huge deal.
I love that story.
I have brought so many people into this industry that I've hired and just heartbreaking that they don't get it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't click.
Why do you think that is? What do you think it is that like some people get it and some people don't? Is it just the perseverance of staying with it long enough that you just outlast it?
I think it's the get rich.
That we're too dumb. We're
the
too
get
dumb
rich
to realize that we
quick
should have gotten out
mentality.
earlier.
It's the get rich quick. Everybody thinks they're going to get in this industry and get rich quick.
Yeah.
You know, I got my son and my future son-in-law that work for me, and shame on me. I've given them the impression that they can work like I do. They need to work like I used to work.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
They need to just get out there and grind and get your teeth kicked in and not take no for an answer.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would, if I knew something about your business, I'm going to come see you 1,000 times.
Yeah.
If you are, I don't want to pinpoint any business, but it doesn't matter. Whatever company you're with, I have this weird brain where I remember that stuff. So if I know that XYZ merchant is processing with Elevon, and then suddenly some kind of increase letter comes out, or a pricing change, or I subscribe to text alerts for outages, platform outages, and everything. You can bet your butt I'm in there.
Yeah.
The next week with that thing printed out, or hey, how did I saw you guys had an outage, a brief outage the other day. How'd you handle that? Did your rep get in touch with you? Do you need? Did you were you taken care of?
Yeah.
It was all stuff like that. I lived it, breathed it. Yep. My kids are older now, but they'll tell you when we were little, we're driving down the street. If there's a coming soon, I'm in there.
Amen. Yeah,
I don't care where we're going or what time it is.
And we were never eating at chain restaurants.
Oh my God, no.
Never. No. We're not eating at Applebee's.
Chance.
That's for
can we go to Applebee's? No. It's not happening.
So let's talk about something you just brought up. So your son now, Ian, is working with you, and your future son-in-law, right?
Yeah, Joseph.
What does that mean to you, man? That's got to be really cool to see that, they're inspired by this. Obviously, like you said, they're gonna have to figure it out for themselves. But that's got to mean something to you. In a
yeah, no, it does. It's for me, it's not just that they're following in my footsteps, but it's also, in my opinion, a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Because if I don't give them the tools that they need or help them to succeed, then they will, I'll feel like I've let them down. They're going to fall on their face.
I gotcha.
This industry is so ridiculously complicated. And I mentioned that I did better when I didn't know what I was doing, and that's the truth. I tell them all the time, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right.
I get to call them stupid and tell them a good lesson, which is a big deal. So, they're like, teach me about level 3. No. You don't need to know that.
Right.
Right. And it frustrates them, but I tell them, you need to get out there and you need to go into these doors and you need to get your teeth kicked in and you need to set an appointment.
Right.
Because 90% of what you need to do is get somebody to sit down and listen.
Right.
You'll learn the rest as you go.
Yes.
And otherwise, if you complicate it too much, I've had a guy, God love him, he was a super go-getter, and he started listening to me too much as far as like he would come on some appointments, and then he's in telling a deli owner,
level 3.
I bet you're not even getting level 3 interchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he isn't, dummy. It's a deli.
Yeah.
But so keep it simple. Stick to it.
I love that.
There's a reason why I wore this goofy shirt too, with Squints on it. Is you also got to be able, you got to shoot your shot.
I love
like the
that.
chance that Squints was going to actually make out with Wendy Peppercorn is almost impossible. The odds were impossible.
Right.
But he developed a scheme and he went for it. And as the movie said, he kissed her, and he kissed her long, and he kissed her good.
That's right.
You got to shoot that shot, whatever it is.
That is great. That is a great lesson
Yeah.
right there. Yeah. Squints. That's right.
So, I don't know. This is a trip.
Yeah.
This industry is a trip.
It is.
And I'm sorry, I went way off of where we were talking
that's
about.
what this
but,
is about. I love it.
But like, my squirrels are running around in there. But, as far as like talking about going to doing what we're doing now is, in the 1099 route and just the better commission splits and all of that, I absolutely can't fault what happened in the past. Like any of that taught me everything I needed to learn.
Yeah. I agree with that 1,000%. Yeah. And I think what you said about the keeping it simple for the new guys, right? For Ian and your son-in-law, that's so important, right? There's a phrase I use all the time, like when the pupil is ready, the teacher will appear. Because if I sit you down and I teach you about level 3, it's going to go in one ear and out the other, and it's not going to matter to you anyways. But when you have a deal that you're trying to sell and you need to learn about level 3 now it's going to relate, and you're going to probably retain that information, right? And so I think there's a lot to be said in that for sure.
Yeah.
So if you were giving that advice, I mean, if somebody brand new is listening to this right now, and they're like, man, this guy's got he's been through the hard yards. He's been through the days where it struggled. I'm struggling as well. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this. My manager's not really helping me out.
Yeah.
What would be that advice you'd give that person? What would you say to them right now?
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just pull another door. Just talk to one more person. Just get kicked in the teeth a couple more times. Just, work. I mean, unless you're just an unpersonable jerk,
right?
You have no chance. But if you're a general nice guy and you're going to go out and going to just keep driving and, and if you don't have somebody that's willing to that's giving you the right advice or coming on an appointment and helping you close it or whatever it is, then reach out to me, because I'll Zoom call with anybody, anytime, anywhere, in front of God and my grandmother.
I can vouch for that. You'll help anybody.
And we'll go through it, because I want everybody to find what I've found in this industry. And there's, like I said, so many people. And please stop telling people you're saving money.
Amen to that, brother.
Please go in there and just be better at what you do.
Yeah.
Stop being a commodity.
Yeah.
So many times I've heard that. I've told so many people in the past, I want you to go with your 1972 Chevy Nova, and I want you to roll that thing onto the Mercedes lot, and then tell me if that Mercedes salesman tells you he's going to save you some money.
That's right. That's right.
Because he's not.
I love that.
It's not going to happen. And if you're going to save somebody, I mean, there's plenty of things that are cheaper, but they're not better.
That's right. That's right.
So
it doesn't have to be about saving them money, right? Exactly.
No,
You're having a better experience. That's what it matters.
A better experience for sure.
Yeah.
My biggest mantra that I tell people all the time is I answer the phone.
Yeah.
And if my phone rang right now and it was one of my good clients, I'd be like, cut the cameras. I got to take this, because
I love it.
That's how I roll, and that's how I have 20-year customers.
Yep.
I know so many people that don't take care of their current customers.
Right. It's crazy.
That just sign them up and move on.
Yeah.
I used to take amazing customers when I got shitty residuals.
Yeah.
And now I got good residuals. Bet your ass I'm answering the phone.
I love that. John.
That's such a huge deal.
It's a huge part of that. And that's something we hear regularly from agents. It's like, and I think it's what sets people apart, right? Treat other people the way you'd want to be treated it's a huge thing for sure.
I'm gonna stab your ego a little bit, but I was signing up a client that's a longtime client of mine, not terribly long ago, and got him to finish all the paperwork. And then I was leaving, and I said, "Hey, who did you just sign up with? What company?"
That's right.
I don't know.
That's right.
Nothing against you.
No, it's John Williams.
You've put together a fine organization. I don't want to say that you haven't.
Yeah.
But that's when I started realizing these are my customers, right? And so, and they've built a trust in me that is super sacred for what they do. And they trust me enough that they know if I trust you with my sacred people, they're going to trust you too.
That's awesome.
Right?
I agree.
And that makes a big difference.
That's a great lesson for everybody out there. Man.
Yeah.
I love that.
And when I've worked for these other companies that have gotten acquired, it had nothing to do with me. Like I heard a bunch of people, poor me.
Yeah.
I'm not poor me, poor my clients.
Right. Exactly.
What was the poor me part about it is they broke my word.
Right.
And I cannot stand to have my word broken.
I love that.
That's such a huge deal.
Great lesson in that, man. Great
Yeah,
lesson.
honesty, transparency, integrity. Those are 3 words. I've got a dumb little sign in my kitchen that says, do what is right, not what is easy.
I love it.
Those are the things I super believe in.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
I used to jokingly talk to people like, and you'd know it too. If I had the old paper application and walked in there and I could do a flim-flam math model and walk out of there just ripping somebody else.
That's right.
And I don't.
You don't need to.
No, there's no need to.
That's right.
There's no need to. That karma will get you.
Amen.
It will get you. And I know people that it gets
That's right.
all the time.
I love that. I love that, John.
For sure.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody, for another awesome episode of the Agent First podcast. We'll see you all next time.